So for our last video of our WordPress Online Contract plugin series, we are going to show you how to include the payment add-on options as well as configuring your default PayPal information. The last video that we had, we talked about how to control your templates as well as the other templates, which you see on the screen now. So what we want to do in this video, which will be the last video, is going to just show the payment options as well as how to view signed contracts with the difference between what it looks like in the administrator, so forth and so on. So the first thing we're going to do is click on our PayPal options. So this comes default with the plugin because PayPal is one of the most widely used payment systems out there. So we figured this would be something that we can include for all of them. So first, you see your PayPal email address, charge a fee, PayPal button label, and then remove the button. So basically, information is pretty self-explanatory, and it's kind of the same on all the other add-ons that we have, just information that pertains to them directly, and you can actually, read the sidebar for each one of the add-ons to be able to see how you can set yours up the way it should be. So PayPal is included, but Authorize.net, Dwala, Skrill, and Stripe are not included. They can be purchased as additional add-ons. And you can see our Code Canyon profile for all of our add-ons. So the first thing I'm going to do is just tell you a little bit. So with PayPal, it's a simple adjustment where you add a email address for your PayPal account, charge a fee, and then also verify with the terms of service to make sure that this is legal in your country. There's certain ways that you can say it in order to charge a fee, but there's some times where it's against the terms of service to be able to charge a fee, so kind of be wary of how you use that because there could be something that could potentially get your account blocked. The second and last option is the button label. Every one of these payment add-ons have a button label, so you can say, pay online, pay with PayPal, whatever you want to say to make it easier for your end users to see it. And then the remove just simply removes this from your payment options. So if you have multiple payment options, but you no longer want to use one, you can just remove it here, but keep the plugin active. Okay, so once you have all of the information configured, since we went through, I think this is our 4th video now. So once you have all of this information configured, you can finally start using your contracts. So we have 2 dummy contracts inside of our plugin demo that you can see to kind of look to see how we have it set up. And if you remember from before, we have already set up the short codes, the contract templates, all that good stuff. And we'll go through what it looks like before and after input. So for right now, we're going to click edit our test contract. The contract type is the template that was set up in the last video. The short code for payment amount, we set up a remaining balance payment short code so that we can divide by our payment terms to get the remaining balance that they have to pay. And then the short code for payment item name would be something like project name or client name, just to kind of, whenever they go to pay for it, that's what shows up on their credit card receipt. Short code for your representative is so that you can quickly see who on your team signed the contract on the behalf of your company. By adding this section, we can fill out the information down here, and whenever you go to list out contracts, you'll see the person that signed it from your company's name there. So you can quickly filter it, look through them, whatever you need to do. If you don't want to present them with print options or pay options, and you have a product that they can access once they sign a contract, or you want to redirect them to another link altogether, this is where you would do that at. You just add the link, and it pretty much just removes the functionality that comes after signing the contract and redirects them to whatever link that you say. Remove signature box is basically if you want to have an online contract system where they can print it out and sign it offline and give it to you, that's what that's for. It'll remove the online signature functionality of it and replace it with a checkbox and a print button, or a line and a print button. Send notification to client. Whenever you check this, anytime you add or update this contract, it will send a notification to the client using the information that you put in your other templates in the last video. Short code for email. or shortcode for client email is the shortcode that is used to tell this contract which email address to send itself to. It also, whenever they go to look at a list of contracts, it relies on this email shortcode to tell them what contracts belong to their email. And so this is your default options that comes with every contract. The custom options that you added would be the shortcodes. This is what they look like whenever they're actually produced. So for example, we have a due date shortcode with a date input type, which gives us a calendar selection box. So we can go in here and select the calendar item. And this format is actually set up in your settings, which was done in the very first video. So you can refer back to that. So the client email is referenced up here, client mailing address, project name, project amount, so forth and so on. Signed by, this would be where your name or whoever signed this contract would sign. And this is just various options that we use on our contracts. So you have your signed by on, is the date that it was signed on, hourly rate, that's what we charge for something outside of the work that's done on this contract. So if you scroll back up, whenever you go to publish or save it, you'll see the contract status says waiting on client to sign contract. So if we check this and we hit update, it'll send them an email with the link to this contract. And whenever they open up the contract, this is what they'll see. As you can see, the information that we input, so test person, test project name, would go here. So this is our shortcode for the person's name, project name, our company's name that's referenced from the settings page, as well as other various shortcodes that are pre-populated based on our selections. So if we have a $25,000 budget, our function shortcode divides it by 6 and gives us a 4166.67 total that's due now. So this is just a standard contract. It comes with your plugin purchase. You can go in there and change it, modify it however you need to. We're completely fine with that. Down here is where we put in our signed by portion of the contract. So your developer turns into a fancy font for your developer, and it says it's electronically signed. So if you don't want to have this on there, you can actually upload an image of your signature whenever you're creating the contract template, just like you would with a WordPress post or page. So you can actually have your real signature instead of having one generated by a computer. Next is where the client signs. As you can see, whenever you move your mouse over it, it turns into a little pencil, and then they can sign it online and hit save. Now that it has signed it online and they hit save, the signature converts into an image. And as you can see where my mouse is, it'll dragging the image away. It says when it was signed on, the IP address of how it was signed. They can print the contract, they can create a PDF, or they have the payment options available to them as well. And if you put in a convenience fee or a handling fee for these payment options, they appear down here at the bottom. So that is pretty much the front end of the contract and how the client signs it. Now, if we go back to the back end, you see all these options are still available, waiting on client to sign contract. But if we refresh the page, you will see that now the options are disabled, because once the contract is signed, you cannot edit the contract unless you clear and reopen the contract. Once you clear and reopen the contract, you make your changes, you hit update, and it sends another email to the client for them to sign it again. So right now, everything is disabled. So if we clear and reopen the contract, just wait for a second for it to refresh. All of our options become available again, and the contract no longer has a signature. They have to re-sign it. So anytime you want to make a change, that's what they have to do. So in total, this is version 3+ of the contract plugin. If you have any questions, please refer to the description down at the bottom, or follow the links, open up a ticket with our help desk, contact us any way you want to. I hope this helped a few people if they were having issues running it and using it. Our version 2 of the plugin video is still available, so if you haven't upgraded, I would suggest that you do, because we did release a lot of new features. If you don't want to, then that video is still applicable to version 2+ all the way to 3. So again, I'm Eric Oliver with Future Design Group, and I hope you enjoyed our tutorial. Thanks and have a good one.